All right, guys, so I caught this little segment here from Tweedledee and Tweedledum, our two favorite political analysts, Dummy Don Lemonhead and Chris Fredo Cuomo. So they're talking, and I guess Chris Cuomo is playing devil's advocate here, in which he's lining up rebuttals that people on the right and Trump supporters use to liberal talking points, and then you have Don Lemon, who is trying to knock down or debunk those talking points. And quite honestly, guys, this conversation that they're having right here just defines everything that is wrong with the leftist narrative. Okay, you cannot have conversations like these guys are having and then tell me that you want unity. And guys, I know I keep talking about unity, and I know this is probably never going to happen, but at some point, guys, some side has to tone down the rhetoric, right? If the liberals claim to be above conservatives like they claim, then they should probably be the ones to tone down the rhetoric here, especially considering how they have the House, Senate, and the presidency. And if they want Trump supporters and people on the right who've been disaffected to fall in line, or to at least calm down, then they might want to be changing the way they're categorizing large swaths of people. However, the left is not going to do that. They have absolutely no interest in trying to unify. They have interest in saying they want unity, but they now have no interest in actually trying to forge some type of partnership or relationship with your fellow man. Okay? And this conversation exemplifies why. Because they're stuck on their high horse of moral authority. They think they are the arbiters of morality in our society, right? There's certain groups in our society that even if you're associated with them, that means that by definition, you are one of them if you're associated with them in any way whatsoever. And that's the problem. They're trying to categorize a large group of people based off their support for one person. And this is intellectually lazy. And part of the reason why our society is so divided because of people like Dummy Don and Chris Cuomo. So without further ado, let's listen to what they have to say.
Now what you hear is, well, you can't say that everybody who voted for Trump is like the people who went into the Capitol. Response.
They're not. They're not. That's just objectively true. Everybody who voted for Trump is not like the people that went into the Capitol. I mean, how many people actually went into the Capitol? Maybe like 30, 40, 50. I mean, how many arrests have there been? Like 80 something? Probably over 100 now. So let's say 100 people. How many people are actually there? Probably what? Thousands of people, right? So 100 out of what? Thousands of people. So maybe 1% of the people that were there. If it was like 10,000 people, what does that tell you? By definition, right, if all those people were like the people that went into the Capitol would be burned down. There would be no Capitol because there's no way you could stop tens and thousands of people from overrunning the Capitol. It would be impossible. So what you're saying right off the bat, the answer to that question, no, they're not like all the people that went into the Capitol. Matter of fact, most of them are peace-loving people who don't want violence. They just have concerns about the direction our country is headed in.
You can't say that. What? Everybody's like
everybody who voted for Trump is like them.
No, I just explained to you. If you are on that side, you need to think about the side you're on. I'm never on the side of the Klan. I am never principled people, conservative or liberal, never on the Klan side. Principled people, conservative or liberal, never on the Nazi side.
Okay, I'm a black person here, right? I'm going to use my black privilege a little bit. Does it look like I'm interested in being on the side with the Klan? Okay, if I support President Trump, I can support the president without supporting the Klan. I don't think the president supports the Klan. Why would me as a black person vote against my own best interest? If supporting the president is supporting the Klan, and as a black person, I know that the Klan doesn't like black people, then why would I support the president? What Don Lemon's saying right here doesn't even make sense because he's just trying to, again, categorize all Trump supporters as white rural men who sympathize with the Klan. And that's just entirely not true. And they love trying to bring up the Klan. They love trying to bring up neo-Nazis. They love trying to bring up the worst of a certain group of people, right? Or of a certain voter group, and trying to smear everybody else as just like the most extreme portions of the voter base. It's really silly, because I actually try to be intellectually honest enough with you guys to define, okay, the establishment left is different from the far left, right? Like, everybody's not Antifa, everybody's not Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's on the left does not necessarily agree with that. A lot of them do, but a lot of them actually don't. They don't agree with the violence and protests in the street. They don't. So the thing is that it's just really silly to see these people continuing to just smear a whole side of the political spectrum and then try to pretend like they are honest journalists on TV and that they're above everybody else. When, quite honestly, this is slinging mud. You just doing more mud slinging. You are no better than the people that you claim that you're better than. You're not. You're just slinging mud on everybody.
Principled people who are conservative or liberal, never on the side that treats their fellow Americans as less than, that says that your fellow Americans should not exist. That
Wait. Hold on now. Isn't the left the side that always says that Trump supporters need to be put on a list and shunned from society? Isn't the left the ones that try to dox Trump supporters and try to make them lose their jobs, lose their livelihoods, lose their ability to feed their kids, take care of their families? Isn't the left the side that's doing that? I haven't seen anybody on the right try to say that people on the left need to be pushed to the edges of society and never heard from again. I've never heard that from the right. And again, I read a lot of stuff on the right. I watch a lot of stuff from the right. I don't hear the right saying that. But I do hear the left saying that. The left has said time and time again, Trump supporters need to be pushed and marginalized to the edges of society. And they shouldn't be heard from. They shouldn't have a voice. Okay? That's why they're trying to impeach the president so he can never run again. That's a part of it. Trying to take a voice away from these people. Don't sit here and try to tell me about decide that trying to make people disappear, don't want people to exist, because that only exists on the left. Literally, that only exists on the left.
that says your fellow Americans should be in a concentration camp, or that sides with slavery, or sides with any sort.
Who sides with slavery? Who on the right has ever said we should bring slavery back? Has Trump ever said we should bring slavery back? I ain't never heard it. Somebody need to show me, where did Trump say he agrees with slavery? Where has anybody on the right said they agree with slavery? I've never heard it. This is the definition of a straw man. Don Lemon is lining up a classic straw man right here. And it's really sad and pathetic because he's smarter than this. Or maybe he's not. But I would hope that he is, considering that he's on national TV every single night.
Sort of bigotry.
Right, and if they say, I don't agree with those people, I just like Trump's policy.
Well, then get out of the crowd with him. Get out of the crowd with him.
I wasn't in the crowd.
You can't, see, that's the thing. Another thing about Don Lemon. It's almost like he's ignorant of politics. You're a political analyst. How can you be so ignorant about politics? If you like Trump's policies, like me, right? I like Trump's policies. I like some of the things that, you know, he ran on. Okay? You do understand that there is some distinct differences there than the traditional Republican platform, okay? Do you understand that, Don? So I can like Trump's policies, but not necessarily agree with all the people who support the president. I just like his policies. But see, Don Lemon doesn't have enough brain power, because he has a pea brain, to figure that out and to put that together, to understand that supporting Trump's policies is not necessarily supporting the traditional Republican platform, because Trump is a little bit different than that. It's a more nuanced conversation than what Don Lemon is trying to make it out to be.
But I just voted for Trump.
You're in the crowd who voted for Trump. If you voted for Trump, you voted for the person who the Klan supported.
Didn't Richard Spencer come out and say he voted for Joe Biden? Richard Spencer, again, is a white supremacist. That's what they say. He's a white supremacist. If he voted for Biden, by Don Lemon's logic, does that mean that everybody who voted for Biden supports white supremacy? Because a white supremacist voted for Biden? See, this is where Don Lemon has a faulty logic here. And it just falls apart under any type of real counter arguments or pressure. from somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. Chris Cuomo here is not even trying to really give pushback. He's trying to play devil's advocate, but he's not really trying to argue with Don on an honest level, because you have people who are racist who still voted for Joe Biden. So just because a racist voted for Joe Biden, that means that if you vote for Joe Biden, that means you're a racist, because Joe Biden has people that affiliated with racism voted for him. This is the exact same logic that Don Lemon is using to smear all Trump supporters, but he won't apply that same logic to Biden, even though we know we have a known white supremacist, Richard Spencer, who voted for Biden.
You voted for the person who Nazis support. You voted for the person who the alt-right supports. That's the crowd that you are in. You voted for the person who incited a crowd to go into the Capitol and potentially take the lives of lawmakers, took the lives of police officers, took the lives of innocent lives who were there on the Capitol that day.
So now all of a sudden, Don, you care about police officers. Now all of a sudden you care about violence. Now all of a sudden you care about destruction. Again, when BLM was protesting and we lost the lives of numerous police officers due to BLM protests like David Dorn, you didn't give a damn. Matter of fact, you excused it. And because the left says silence is violence, then I'm saying that you were a part of the problem, because you either supported it or you didn't condemn it. I know you didn't condemn it. So that means that you support it, because silence is violence. Okay? Again, by your same argument here, you are responsible for the deaths of anybody that died during the BLM protests. You're responsible for it because you supported it. And you supported Biden, who also supported BLM and Antifa protests. You are a part of it. That blood is on your hands by definition. If you want to line up that argument about people who voted for Trump being responsible for, insurrection, or voting for a man that's responsible for insurrection, all right, cool. But you supported somebody that was responsible for burning down cities across the country and losing way more lives than the people that were lost on the Capitol that day. What happened in the Capitol, again, besides the lives lost, can be fixed with relatively little economic consequence, okay? What happened with BLM and all the damage they caused in Antifa, that cost billions of dollars, okay? Billions of dollars to fix. Again, I get it. The Capitol protest is still a big deal because they essentially were trying to interrupt the democratic process. That's not something BLM actually ever did. But again, at the same time, Don Lemon needs to be honest. He needs to be honest about both sides. And that's what these guys refuse to do.
You voted on that side, and the people in Washington are continuing to vote on that side.
That's basically the end of that conversation. Essentially, he's talking about how, you have some politicians that are not voting to impeach the president, which they shouldn't, because in the speech, he literally said, go down there peacefully. Okay. And everybody seems to be discounting that and forgetting that that's actually in the speech and trying to use metaphors and figures of speech as cause to say that he caused the insurrection. And, considering President Trump's free speech that's granted to him under the First Amendment, I think the impeachment argument is really weak if you take out the emotions. Okay. But regardless of that, Dummy Don Lemonhead and Chris Cuomo, I just want to show you guys this exchange because it was just really sad to see how out of touch these people are and how their quote unquote efforts of unity are just so piss poor that I just wish they would stop pretending that they even care about it. You cannot care about unity with this type of rhetoric. You cannot care about bringing the country together with this type of rhetoric. Trump goes out, gives the perfect message where he condemns both sides. He calls it like it is on both sides. And I guarantee you they'll get no news coverage. They'll get no news coverage. But if something happens, on Inauguration Day, which I hope that it doesn't, they're going to blame the president, even though the president already said no violence. And they're going to pretend like they didn't even see it. He didn't even say it. Just like they're pretending right here, like what happened for the last 6, 7, 8 months with these protests in the street from Antifa and BLM, they acting like it didn't happen. It doesn't even matter. Only thing that matters is what happened on the Capitol. But anyways, Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.